Now I gotta ride or die.
Oh yeah. Oh, 24 karat gold everywhere. Gotta be done. So guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going for a drive with Jason. What, mate?
Hello.
And we're going to be talking about a few things. One of them mainly being forgotten hot hatches that you guys can go out there and buy for around £2,000 to £3,000. That's the idea. Yes, things are very expensive, mate, aren't they?
Yeah, they're out of control.
They're actually out of control, like big time out of control. But I feel like there is some come up cars, or at least cars that are slightly forgotten, that I feel like you could still buy on a deal. Whether these things are still on the market is another matter. I will jump on eBay and have a little nose.
Oh, look at this hero.
Look at this guy down here giving it the absolute, whatever that is,
Idiot.
thing. Craziness, literally right in front of us. Anyway, the first car, we're going to pick some cars, we're going to chat about them, and I might overlay some eBay footage as well of what's going on. I think that might be a shout.
That's not a bad chat.
So, my first one, I did make a little list actually, because, you know, I'm old and I can't remember what I'm doing. Because we're in a Series 1 RS Turbo, the idea of today is that this car was relatively cheap at one point. It was inexpensive, these were, weren't they?
1,700 quid my first one, so yeah.
£1,700.
They were cheap.
We're not saying that any of these cars that we're about to list are going to go up in price. We're just saying that they might go up in price because rarity, you know, they're getting crashed, things are happening. So, we were discussing this a minute ago. The first one we're actually going to bring up is the 172.
Definitely.
What do you feel about the 172?
Right, so my thoughts on the 172 is I owned them when they were cheap. I owned one when they were slightly a bit dearer.
Yeah.
And no matter what's happened, the crowd are still the same.
Yes.
So the same people are still buying them. Okay? So it's your young lad who can just about afford something a bit fruity on insurance.
Spicy.
And away he goes.
Yep.
He hasn't got a turbo to worry about.
No, not at all.
They
Match
are
aspirated.
so cheap to fix.
Yep.
There's parts everywhere for them. And they're relatively... I'm not going to use the word cheap to modify because they're not. I do know that buying exhausts and induction kits for them aren't the cheapest.
No.
Because in order for it to work, they have to be quite good brands.
Yes.
So in order to get
they
the power
have to be
out of them.
K-Tech, they have to be
That's it.
proper exhaust. To put trumpets or a turbo on them, they are expensive. So
Yeah.
that's one of those things. But because of follow-on, what is that noise?
It's exhaust. It's dragging.
The follow-on is, at the end of the day, they're getting hard to find because 182s came out and, you know, they've got crashed a lot. So I would say, although they're not a forgotten hatch, and that's what we're talking about, I do feel like they're forgotten in the sense of investment. Because there isn't too many on the market. Did have a nose on eBay, not too many on there, if I'm honest, mate.
No,
not too many.
At all. Facebook Marketplace seems to be the way because it's an easy 1,500 quid, £2,000 car.
Yeah.
Snap, 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 up it goes.
And off it goes, because at that price, you're golden. We're going to move on though, because I feel like that is a good shout, but it's not too forgotten in the sense of a 206 GTI. What do you think of the 206 GTI? I think forgotten is not the word here. It never even got started.
It didn't get started, did it?
No.
It was too heavy a chassis, the ride height was too high, and the engine wasn't powerful enough to call it a GTI.
Yep.
It did sing. It did have that little Peugeot rip to it at the end of the revs. It did corner, but every one of them is lowered.
Yes.
Because they just looked so high.
Yeah.
So yeah, but they never really took off. But then 106 GTIs didn't take off forever.
Yeah.
And now look.
And now they have gone ballistic. So I do feel like the 206 is, in a sense, a car that is forgotten because they never got started.
Yeah.
And that means that they are quite hard to find in a sense, with the bucket seats, with a good bit of mileage, with a nice colour as well, because I ever only see them in silver.
Very
Not sure
true.
why.
They
Not
did
sure
some
why.
pretty boring colours. Like they were like pale blues. They weren't.
Yeah, they weren't like exciting cherry
punchy.
reds and stuff.
They weren't punchy, were they?
It's an odd car. It's an odd car. I would say they're relatively inexpensive, but I don't see them for sale.
No.
If I'm honest, don't see them for sale. The next one I've written down is a Mark IV Golf GTI Turbo we were just chatting about. That is a funny one because they were everywhere, like 106 GTIs, they were everywhere. Now if you'd find a two-door
PD gang aside,
Mark 4 PDs, they're there, they're still about.
Are playing with them hard all the time. They're still very popular. The 1.8T engine was always a bit lackluster, wasn't it?
Yes.
It needed so much money throwing at it to make it fast that it was double the value of the car because they were only over 1,500 quid, weren't they?
Yeah.
So, going back in time, they were a bit dearer. I paid £4,000 for one.
£4,000.
Many years ago, and it was beautiful. But I just got so bored of it, and it was gone. You know.
And that was that era of Mark 4, wasn't it? They were a little bit fatter than the 3. They weren't quite as powerful. They were hard to modify in a sense, but really well made. Would go. The interior is a lovely place to be. They are very, very well done. But the follow-on is, I think, a lot of them are crashed. A lot of them are parted out for other cars. And although they share a lot with Audis and various other VWs, it is still hard to find a low mileage 2-door nice variant of that car. That's not silver again. Because they all seem to be bloody silver for me.
The one to buy and always will be the Annie. The Annie is a lovely car.
Yes.
And if you can get one of them that's a bit tired, it's still going to be worth restoring because they were such the pinnacle of the car.
Hard to find a nice one. In fact, the last time I looked on eBay, a red one was about $9,000 for a really nice one. It's a lot of money for a Mark 4 Golf.
But they're still dotted around. The high mileage dogs are still sort of like 2.5, 3
kicking about. They are kicking about. But again, it's relatively expensive for a car like that, I'd say. Next up, sharing similar underpinnings, but not at the same time because it's sort of based on a Mark 3 Golf. Ibiza Cupra. I had one. I enjoyed it. And then I bought an Audi TT because I wanted 4-wheel drive. I cannot remember the last time I actually saw a proper one for sale, like a really, really nice one, maybe in yellow, blue, whatever. I just feel like that's a car that is sort of dead in the water in a sense that no one had one, and no one now definitely has one. Like, nobody's got that car.
No.
And that's a shame. I don't know about you and if you ever saw one in car parks and stuff, but I feel like they weren't there.
Do you know what I used to love about those? And the first thing that I would always be drawn to was it had Brembo brakes. Like when were car manufacturers doing that in 2003?
No one was.
But they were. Which is just cool.
It's just cool, isn't it? Next up, AX GT. You will not find one for sale, I don't reckon. Again, this is a car that was nothing. It wasn't worth anything, and now I do feel like even to find one for sale is hard. But now, find one for sale and then tell me how much it is. I looked on eBay, there was one AX for sale and it was £1,000 and it was an entry level car, so try and find that car. Let me know if you find one in the comments below. 6N2 Polo GTI. Find what? Right, go on eBay right now and find one for under 100,000 miles that's under £5,000.
I love the engines in those.
Again,
that little 16 valve sprinty 1.6 of the era in the Lupo was a banger. Whereas the Polo was a bit fat for it.
It was. It's only 125 horsepower.
Chuck a cam in there, bit of induction and exhaust, a cool car. It was never going to catch your mate's 106.
No.
But you were happy to drive 300 miles in some comfort.
And it didn't matter, it was a nice car inside. The VWs from that era were nice. But I did look on eBay, and to find one with under 100,000 miles on it, maybe 2-door in black with good paint and stuff, good bit of mileage, good bit of history, it's not under £5,000. £5,000. Like, they're all over 100,000 miles for ones just under £5,000.
Pre the turbo car.
This is a naturally aspirated one.
And the turbo cars, they never went cheap.
No, they never got to the point. The 1.8 turbos never got to the point where they were actually cheap, which is a shame. It was just one of those things. I'm going to let you think about this while I ravel on to the guys here. Wild card, as in a car that nobody wants and nobody's going to enjoy, but might be worth some money at some point. I'll let you think about that, and while I talk to you guys about the Corsa VXR, because I feel like the Corsa VXR. Get out. Okay, bye. Out. Right. He said the I feel like. Right. Bear with me.
I can't hear what he's saying. Is he saying anything?
I feel like, right, I'm going to say this now in a series with RS Turbo. Nobody on the internet's going to appreciate this whatsoever. Right. Are you ready? The Corsa VXR was hated by many. It blew up constantly. It was everywhere at one point. They're about 2 or 3 grand for a scraping the barrel one at the moment. Even on a forecourt, they're 3 grand, right? I get it.
We should just drive to Mackey's there.
Right. Renault 5 GT turbos were that at one point. They were unreliable. No one cared. They were just normal cars, right? Now, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but mark my words, in 20 years' time, there will be a Nürburgring or an Arctic Corsa VXR on KGF Classics for £30,000 with 4,000 miles on it, because they don't exist anymore because everyone blew them up, and there's none with low owners, low service history, all this sort of stuff. It will happen, not tomorrow, not in 5 years, not in 10 years. I guarantee it. That is a wild card, and I'm sorry if everybody's in the comments now saying you are full of shit, but like, I genuinely think a car like that, if it follows history and follows suit, look at a Nova. A Nova was a similar car, no one cared. They were cheap, chavvy cars. Look what's happened. Try and find me a nice Nova in any condition, regardless if it's a fast one or not, they're still worth money. The follow-on is an Arctic or a Nürburgring especially are select low number versions of those cars, so they're the ones that are, you know, initially first going to go up. But I'm not saying in the next 10 years, I'm saying 20 years time. And sorry to everyone out there, especially Jason in the car with me right now, he doesn't appreciate it.
He's right, he's
Corsa
right.
VXR, mate, I reckon. Plus, from that era, 197 brake horsepower in a little car like that with Recaro bucket seats, that didn't happen. That wasn't a thing.
Do you know what annoyed me? It's because back then, Fords were only developing a flipping ST150, right?
Yeah.
And the only way the Ford boys were catching that Vauxhall was dropping it to Jamsport for a supercharger.
Yeah.
Other than that, you weren't catching them.
Yeah.
Because they were going and getting a flipping stage 1 map.
Just 200 odd horsepower straight away.
You weren't catching them again. Very annoying.
And do you know what? It was the first car I ever saw with big wheels on a small car.
Yeah.
It was the intro to big wheels on small cars, and I know no one's going to appreciate that bit of information there. Mark my words, one day. Hopefully, because I'll buy one soon and it'll blow up, and then I'll try and make them go up in value. No, I won't really. But like, I do feel like they're going to go up wild card. Jason.
Yeah.
Counteract me. What's your wild card?
I'm going to say Suzuki Swift.
Okay.
So, yeah, your 15-year-old variety.
Yep.
I think, because we all know they handle well.
Yes, they do. They're fantastic.
They don't weather well.
No.
They do handle well, and I think anything Japanese, low mileage, will be collectible at some point.
Yes.
It doesn't even have to be highly spec'd.
No.
A nice white one of them with some black Oz wheels is just
it's
cool.
Always good.
Yeah,
always
with a nice
good.
set of suspension on it. As you know, they handle well.
Oh, they handle fantastically. Yeah. They're insanely good.
A great car. I think
they're underappreciated.
Yeah,
Forgotten classic.
They're not fast, but it's all in the chassis.
Yeah, 100%. You don't need loads of power to go fast in one of them. You just need a big set of downstairs and a grippy set of tyres on it.
And you're away.
But do you know what it is? Between those two cars is a funny one, because I don't think people will ever understand that a Swift or a VXR Corsa will be worth that money until suddenly you're on eBay when you're 40, 50 years old and they're like, what happened to them? Why are they so expensive?
Let's just wait, alright? Now,
let's wait out.
You know what's coming, and I know what's coming, but my view on the next 2 to 3 years in the vehicle motor trade is, unfortunately, we're heading for a recession. Let's hope it's not a depression.
No.
What happens in recessions is motor vehicle manufacturers, they struggle because interest rates go high. They can't sell their cars.
No. So
what they'll do, the UK government, Europe maybe, introduce a new scrappage scheme. So now is your time to not have the repeat of 1999 and 2000 when the scrappage scheme started, and all these
became scrap.
XR3s,
205
turbos,
GTIs,
right? There's
everything.
Fields in this country full of cars that you guys scrapped because you went and bought yourselves a new Escort or a new Mondeo
or a Vauxhall Mocha or whatever it is. Yeah.
My idea is, and I'm pretty sure it's coming, is the manufacturers are going to need a bailout.
Yeah.
Now, the last time that happened, as I say, scrappage scheme's coming. Now is the time to lock it away and buy it, forget about it, let everyone else scrap theirs. Let everyone else go and get their £2,000 minimum part exchange
Yeah.
on their new Fiesta Flight or whatever
Yeah.
thing is they're going to go and
Yeah.
buy.
Yeah.
And then you just sit and wait like a lot of smart people did, Jimmy Clements.
Yeah. A lot of people that we know very well, actually.
Wait and see, and they'll be like, oh, I didn't scrap anything.
No. I've
And-
still got my Suzuki Swift /Corsa VXR.
There you go. So they're the ones that are going to win because
100%.
you know we now know these. It's popping nice today.
Yeah, it's nice.
These aren't going to get scrapped. These
No.
cars, you know,
No.
it just doesn't happen anymore, does
No.
it?
I do feel like, yes, interesting topic. Get in the comments below. Tell us we're completely wrong and full of shit as usual, because we probably will. I don't know. I feel like I'm not, but I feel like the proof is in the pudding once it happens.
I'll look forward to looking back at this video
Mm.
where we discussed the possibility of a scrappage scheme.
Yeah, and then it happening, and Corsa VXRs being rode up, Swifts,
Yeah.
150 Fiestas,
The cars
because they're
with-
not worth £2,000 because they're pitted, rusty horribleness.
Also, what else deadlines have we got in 2030?
Yeah,
Right?
electric
That is
cars,
electric
stuff,
cars.
Yeah,
They just want it off the road.
yeah,
But they can't make it illegal to use these cars for some time yet because there's too many people going to be buying them right up to recently.
oh, 100%.
You know,
I
you
couldn't
can't
agree
buy a
more.
new Kia with a 7-year warranty on a petrol car and then expect to get rid of it in 5 years, can you?
No, not at all. It's odd. It's an odd one. But get in the comments. Tell us we're wrong. Tell us we're right. Get at us with some wild cards that you think might be going up, because I feel like there's some others out there that we could probably chat more about in the next video, I reckon.
Yeah.
Because chatting about cars like this and getting into something for a couple of grand that might go up, might not, but is, you know, fun at the same time, is a shout. Anyway, we are now down a seafront. Look at this. How's this for a view? It's just loveliness. We will leave today's video there. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Jason, for taking us out in your car and
That's all right.
you know, enjoying the day. We'll see you guys tomorrow.